Hey guys, what is going on? It is WrestleLamia here, and I just wanted to thank you for 30,000 subscribers. And in appreciation of it, I'm doing a giveaway, and I'm gonna do another one every time I hit 10,000 more subscribers. Since I'm doing a Royal Rumbles facts video, I'm giving away a free copy of the new release of the true story of the Royal Rumble on Blu-ray. All you gotta do is subscribe to my channel, like the video, and comment which Rumble you enjoyed the best, and I'll pick a winner at random. I'll announce the winner on my Twitter this Saturday at 10 PM UK time, so that's around 5 PM for most of my American subscribers. So if you're not following me on Twitter, do so at WrestleLamia, and I'll also leave a link in the description below. Good luck to everybody. You know, it's regarded to be one of the best gimmick matches in the history of the WWE. This year marks the 30th Royal Rumble ever to occur, and since the first official Rumble in 1988, it's had 868 entrants with 30 winners. Let's not forget 1994's Rumble, which had co-winners. From announcers to celebrity entrants, the Royal Rumble is always exciting to watch, and we are just weeks away from this year's Rumble, so I thought it'd be interesting to look at some facts, and of course, not just any facts, but some obscure ones you don't typically see on most lists, so I hope you enjoy. Number 1. Matt Bloom has never made an elimination. Despite being involved in 6 Royal Rumbles as Prince Albert, A-Train, Lord Tensai, or even Sweet Tea, he possesses a pretty crappy Rumble achievement with the fact that he's never managed to eliminate a single wrestler in any of them. Working as a head trainer in NXT, it's pretty unlikely that he'll ever be involved in another Rumble again, but with this much failure in a Rumble, he should be now known as Bad Luck Bloom. Number 2. The Patterson Cup. The Royal Rumble was, as most people know, the brainchild of Hall of Famer Pat Patterson, where he pitched his idea of a reverse battle royale to Vince in 1987. Well, the bit you may not know is that Patterson had further plans of introducing a Stanley Cup-like trophy to the winner of each Rumble. Much like the Stanley Cup, the winner would also have their name engraved on it. Patterson revealed his idea on the Rack Radio Show podcast, where he stated, "I would like to have a cup like the Stanley Cup and put the name of each wrestler that won it in that year and the next year. It would be like the Stanley Cup and people would be fighting for that. I'm going to try again. Whoever wins the Royal Rumble, you give them a trophy right there in the middle of the ring." Number 3. The real first Royal Rumble winner. Most fans and the WWE recognizes the first Rumble to be held in 1988. Not true. The first ever Rumble actually took place a few months before in 1987 in St. Louis, Missouri, and unfortunately cameras weren't present. The card only drew a reported 1,976 fans, and the man victorious was the one-man gang. And the win was actually quite unique, much like the 1994 and 2005's double elimination. The same happened here, but this time it happened between One Man Gang and the Junkyard Dog, and it only lasted 12 minutes. It was reported that fans weren't happy at the result, as One Man Gang was already given an opportunity to face champion Hulk Hogan at a later event, and One Man Gang and JYD had already faced each other earlier on in a singles match, which didn't go quite too well. Number 4. 3 1994 Rumbles? We had a Rumble in 1994, and it was the controversial winners of Bret Hart and Lex Luger. But did you know that there are also 2 unofficial Royal Rumbles that took place in 94? A 30-man Rumble held on the 17th of January at Madison Square Garden and was actually won by Owen Hart, eliminating Fatu. There was also an 18-man Royal Rumble that was held on the 9th of May in Osaka, Japan, and was won by The Undertaker when he managed to eliminate Bam Bam Bigelow. Number 5. The 5 Faces of Charles Wright. We've all heard the 3 Faces of Foley making an appearance in the Royal Rumble, but what you may have overlooked is that Hall of Famer Charles Wright, most known to be the Godfather, has appeared in Rumbles over the year in 5 different gimmicks. With his voodoo practitioner gimmick Papa Shango in 1993's Rumble, the Supreme Fighting Machine Kama in 1995, Nation of Domination member Kama Mustafa in 1997, his pimp gimmick debuting in 1998's Royal Rumble, and lastly, his right to censor gimmick turned him into the Good Father in 2001's Royal Rumble. Making matters more interesting, in a total of 3 Rumble appearances, Wright has not lasted more than a total of a minute. The initial occurrence took place in 1993, where Wright entered 3rd and was dumped out by Ric Flair in just 28 seconds. 8 years later in 2001, he was slugged over the ropes by former Nation of Domination ally The Rock. Elapsed time 13 seconds. Number 6. Oldest to youngest. In 2008's Rumble match, Jimmy Snuka is seen to be the oldest competitor to ever enter the Royal Rumble, aged at 64. Rene Dupree was the youngest at 20 when he entered the 2004 Royal Rumble match. Where Rumble winners are concerned, Vince McMahon holds that spot, aged 54 in the 1999 Rumble, and the youngest winner is Brock Lesnar at 26 in 2003's Rumble. Number 7. California and Florida are hosts to the most Royal Rumbles. Yes, the states in total have equally been home to 10 Rumbles, from 1990's Rumble in Orlando, Florida to 2016's at the Amway Center. Number 8. Austin's Royal Rumble 96 botch. The 1996 Rumble was Austin's debut Rumble match as the short-lived ringmaster character. Before the Rumble, Austin had squash wins over a couple of guys who would go on to success later. Vince wanted to push Austin and make him one of the final 4 in that match, but there was a problem. He was clotheslined out of the ring by Fatu, and according to Austin's story from his podcast, Austin was only supposed to hang on to the rope and not be eliminated. He stated his hands had been covered in sweat, where he lost his grip and fell to the floor, being eliminated. Vince, who was on play-by-play commentary, didn't even see him get eliminated, as it was off camera, and was unsure that Austin was actually even out. Number 9. Sabu was actually advertised to appear at the 96 Rumble. In 96, the WWF was falling short of wrestlers, or at least good ones, so Vince tried to source wrestlers from outside of his federation. The sadistic ECW wrestler Sabu was one of those choices, and even asked Sabu whether he could do a hardcore elimination spot by being thrown out onto the table. A deal was made, and he was even promoted on the WWF hotline as appearing. Paul Heyman didn't like the idea of Sabu appearing in the WWF, seeing that ECW was treated as WWF's feeder show. In fact, even after, Vince tried to sweeten the deal by offering WWF talent for ECW, but Heyman rejected the offer. Heyman was successful and managed to persuade Sabu not to do the show, leaving Vince red-faced and determined not to do business with Heyman again, or at least until 2001. Number 10. Beginner's Luck. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Big John Studd, Ric Flair, Yokozuna, Lex Luger, Vince McMahon, Brock Lesnar, Chris Benoit and Alberto Del Rio are all winners in their debut Royal Rumble match. Number 11. Final 4 Champion. Kane has a substantial number of Royal Rumble records, having at one point the most eliminations and being involved in the most Royal Rumble matches over the years. In fact, adding to these records, Glenn Jacob has appeared in the Final 4 of a Rumble 6 times, 5 as Kane and 1 as Fake Diesel. Number 12. 9 self-eliminations. We have learnt in the Rumble that you can actually eliminate yourself. In fact, self-elimination has occurred by 9 wrestlers over the years. The first being Andre the Giant, who eliminated himself in the 1989 Rumble, cowering from Jake Roberts' snake, Damien. In 1992, Macho Man Randy Savage, who was in a red-hot feud with Ric Flair, was on autopilot, as when getting out of the ring to fight on the outside, Savage launched himself over the top rope, eliminating himself. The elimination, however, wasn't counted though, as it was a genuine botch from Savage. Both Farouk and Ahmed Johnson eliminated themselves whilst in a feud with each other in 1997's Royal Rumble. In the same Rumble, Mexico's legend Mil Mascaras thought it would be an excellent idea to take a flying dive off the top rope onto the floor. Kane in 1999 cleaned house only to eliminate himself whilst being chased by men with straitjackets, and both Mick Foley and MVP went for clotheslines against the rope only to eliminate themselves. Number 13. Most time without an elimination. Triple H, or at the time going by his blue blood persona of Hunter Hearst Helmsley, lasted 48 minutes in his debut Rumble in 1996 without making a single elimination. Number 14. Mr. Perfect was set to win the 1990 Royal Rumble. In 1990, Hulkamania was running wild in the WWF, so much so that he won the Rumble that year. But according to reports, it was Curt Hennig, also known as Mr. Perfect, who was supposed to win that year. Well, most have come to the conclusion that it was Hulk Hogan who exercised his power to make the last-minute changes to the match and win himself, extending his ego even further. It was actually Vince McMahon who made the change, as Hogan needed to look strong going into his match with Warrior at WrestleMania 6. And number 15. 4 decades of Royal Rumbles. You may not happen to know that 2 Royal Rumble entrants have appeared at least once in all 4 decades since 1988. Both Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Shawn Michaels have appeared in Rumbles over the 80s, 90s, noughties, and 10s. I think it's still a possibility that somewhere down the line, Michaels will come out of retirement and make a special appearance in the 20s. Well guys, that's all the facts I have today on the Royal Rumble. I hope most of them were unique and interesting to you. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and also subscribe to more videos. And I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.